they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, folks? Thank you for tuning in. About to get going here with the American Anchor Baby on this fine Thursday. Thank you for the patience. He's mowing the lawn. He's microwaving taquitos. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I'm loving the Zelensky. I'm loving the Zelenskys. I don't know, this wartime look. I'm going to get a Zelensky in every color. Maybe not every color. But welcome to the show, Anchor Baby here. This is your host. And then it's a pleasure to be back. We're going to get into a couple things here. The sensibilities of people, so sensitive, and maybe even a little bit on sinning. Help me, Lord. I just can't stop sinning. Well, how you doing, folks? You can call the Anchor Baby, 888-775-3773. If you want to get it off your chest here, saying hello to rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, saying hello to DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. How you doing, folks? Pleasure. Thank you for liking the stream. Appreciate it. I'm seeing you in my comments section. You're chatting away. You're enjoying the show. Maybe you got criticisms. Leave a comment. Leave a like. You don't always have to help with money. Oh, no, that'd be nice. You can buy me a coffee.com/Anchor Baby. You can like the stream, chat away. Where's falconing? Falconing, always tickling the algorithm, doing the work in my comment sections, just comment after comment after comment. Tickling the algorithm, doing me a solid. Where are y'all? Tickle the algorithm. Type tickle in the comments. Tickle the comment section right now. Type tickle in the comments or the chat. Tickle the algorithm. Tickle. Okay. Drizzle. No, we're not doing that. Welcome, folks, to the show. And you know, it seems like the N-word is having a resurgence in the news. You know, when it's not in the news, when it's not in a headline and used to control and put fear in people, it's just a word. People are saying, hey, what's up? What's up, neighbor? What's up? How you doing? Look at that. what a nice song, my friendly neighborly people. So the N-word is having a moment. The N-word's having his 15 minutes in fame. And, you know, it's a little bit because of the conservative simps. Okay, maybe a little bit. But I'm not going to say that I did that on purpose. Simping over the conservative firebrand. Okay, now I'm adding to it. She's a nice lady who just got herself into some viral mess by saying the N-word. And she said the N-word. You remember her? Broke a N-words. But people like her are marrying them. Why are you crying about it? It was interesting, okay? In the people's reaction, for real. The public, the vessels, so angry, ready to rip apart and not look at yourselves. But anyways, look, people are mad about some word. Really dumb. And this video, it's been popping up everywhere. It's a legendary video. I've seen it so many times before, this little 15 minutes of fame with the N-word. It's a legendary news clip. And if you're just like a, how should I put it? I guess if you weren't around when this I guess went viral, or you're like a decent normal with like a normal life without insanity, called the internet, I guess. You won't know this video, but you have to. It's in the halls. It's in the Hall of Fame of videos, folks. You got to see it. This teacher, who said the N-word too, you know, and he had something to say about it. It's absolutely legendary.
Well, it is a word that evokes many emotions in people. It's a derogatory racial remark that has divided people for many years.
And a Jefferson County high school teacher has now received the longest suspension on record for calling a student the N-word. WHAS 11's defender Renee Murphy investigates what happened and why in this story you'll only see on 11.
Valley Traditional High School is in the middle of a racial controversy right now. A teacher used the N-word towards a student. The word is only 6 letters long, but the impact is far-reaching.
The poetry, impact, 6 letters, but impact is far-reaching. You can't even describe it. It's immeasurable. It's been dividing people for many years, like the first guy said.
And we do want to warn you that some of the language in this story is strong, and it may offend you, it may offend some other people. But since the story is not just about the N-word, it's also about the teacher's intent and definition of the word, we have decided to leave it in the story for you to decide.
A lot of preamble, you know, it's like the big words incoming, trigger warning. Get ready.
And what did he say specifically?
Don't wild out. Don't go beat someone up when you hear this.
To you.
Sit down, nigga.
I'm sorry. That's not funny. He was going through trauma, and look at his face. He's going through pain.
Keyshawn Chambers is a freshman at Valley High School, a Boy Scout, a football player, a member of the ROTC, an honor roll student. He was hanging around his teacher's classroom door in December. The teacher told him to sit down, and the teacher says that Keyshawn used the N-word first.
And I just kind of was stunned a second. Well, then.
You know what's unfair? As the ladies, I don't know if it's unfair, but like as the ladies talking, you kind of miss it. Because he actually says a few words before this, and it's a little muffled, but he says...
Classroom door in December, the teacher told him to sit down, and the teacher says that Keyshawn used the N-word first.
If you hear it she's talking over it, you would miss it, because then the volume comes up and these are his first words, the next ones. But actually, right before that, you hear him say, it was like a verbal assault, he says.
And I just kind of was stunned a second. Well, then get away from the door. And I repeated the same insult because... See,
that you can't tell me that was like vitriol in that, the way he said that. That was like your school teacher. That was like your Mr. That was like Mr. What was his name? It was like Mr. Lombardi. Like saying that, hey, sit down. And go.
That's sort of what I've been trained to do.
The school district says that is not what they trained English teacher
We did
Paul
not
Dawson
train
to
him
do.
to do that. Let us repeat. We did not. What if the streets taught him that? What if just growing up taught him that, huh?
Dawson says that students use the slang version of the N-word at Valley High School all the time. He says Nigger is a racial slur, but says that students use Nigga as often as they'd say dude or...
Can he make it any clearer? There's the diagram. The teacher with the does he need to make it any clearer?
Hey man, and Dawson says as much as he does.
You could say glizza.
Not like the word, he still used the slang version to feel more comfortable with black students.
Why is this word used so frequently? So I just don't understand it, and I'm trying to understand it.
The plight of the white man. The white man tries to understand.
I need help. Yes, I use I've used it. I admit it. I put the H on it to emphasize it's nigga.
He's not burping, folks. That's a bleep.
Nigga, please. Nigga, can you lend a pencil?
Can you lend
what kind of example are you
He's just asking for a pencil. Like, what's so offensive?
for your students if you use a word that you don't want them to use?
Upon reflection, that's not good.
And we'll leave it at that. You know, it's much longer. You should check it out. It's a legendary clip, truly. And you see at the crossroads of so many things, the crossroads of black culture at the time, what people were thinking, this guy trying to navigate it, all the media, navigate a word, which he may have, like, we just don't know the moment. If you watch the whole thing, the black student says that, like the teacher claims he said it first, and I'm just saying it back to him, the student, and actually, like the whole class. I don't know if they're teaming up against the teacher or something, but that's just conspiracy theories. They say he did. They say that the student did not say it first. I don't know. He's at some school called Valley School. I don't know if it's like a majority black school. Like, a lot of factors here, folks. And people are shallow. You know that these kinds of interactions are not always so simplice. Okay? But anyways, it's just a little legendary video. You got to see it. It's in the halls of fame of the internet. It's an old video, but but the internet made it like popularized it years later once video sharing became popular, YouTube and all that. A lot of old news clips got uploaded on the internet that went viral. Yeah, but the N word. Putting on display how shallow people are, how what's it called? Shallow and weak, emotional people are. And people think that's like a win when they say, Nick, you can't say that. You try saying that in Compton. Nick, do you say that in public? I'm like, no. Of course I know, because I know people get mad, people go crazy, and they're wrong for going crazy, man. So, you understand? That's not a win. People say that's like a win. Like, I dare you say that in Compton, say that in the streets, man. So it's like the Muslims, they laugh at the Christians going like, oh, you can make fun of Jesus, and you guys don't even blow anything up. You guys they'll say anything about Jesus. They're like, Jesus this, Christians that, and you guys don't even do one jihad. Like, I don't know. It's not a win. That's not a win. You get to it's fair criticisms, all fun and like we could do it. We could do it. We can hang in the kitchen, but that's not a win, right? You're just you can't. These people, they're like, you can't say that about Palestinians or Jews. You can't say that about the Jews. Okay, that was a little anti-Semitic how I said that. My bad. But these are all some of the silliest, gayest. Think about this: gayest, thin-skinned people. Like, I'm trying to juxtapose the tough. You can't say that about us. We'll kill you. Gangsters, Muslims. Literally, actually. In fact, I have proof. The gay, I have proof. I didn't even think, look, serendipity, it's fallen in my lap. I had this link. I didn't even think I was going to show this. But look, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. We're going to do a little diversion here. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, you know her maybe a little bit. She's a conservative black woman. I don't know exactly. I know she tried running for like something, right? She tried running for something. I don't know if she won. I don't know the rest of her story here, but I know her as like this black female conservative that came on this, on the scene, running for some sort of office. And she asked, why aren't kids in the hood transitioning to the opposite sex? Ain't no hood trans people. Kind of reminds me of like my mom, like my family. There were no allergies when I was growing up. I had like friends come over and I'm like, Mom, he's allergic to that. He's like, just serve him anyways. And he'd sit there like, what? I know, she says, I know the answer. Just wanted to see if you knew. Comment below. And I guess this is another conservative, Sarah Higdon. And she's like, well, because, I don't know who this person is. Well, because the typical demographic is upper middle class white kids of progressive parents for two reasons. They have time and money to worry about such things and have been conditioned to believe through critical race theory that they are an oppressor and there is no way they can ever escape that status. So they see this as a way to join an oppressed class for which they are celebrated for instead of condemned. It's the relationship between CRT and queer theory. Like, it's a lot of words that you might think, oh, it kind of makes some sense here, but this is a clear worldview. And it's this oppressor class worldview. And it's just these rich white people who do it, have the time for it. And that might not even make sense. It's not like I don't think this person was malicious in saying this, if you ask me. I say my opinion on this show too. Yeah, no, that's fake news. According to Elijah Schaefer here, blacks are actually more likely to be trans per capita than whites. You share some statistics, take it with a grain of salt, stats and all that. But as you can see, and the question is proportion here, right? Proportion. There's obviously less black people, but proportion here. Okay, so I'm telling you this. Get back to this. I'm telling you this, not to condemn. You understand? It's not to condemn, but it's to paint the picture here. It makes so much sense. They're so angry. And that's the thing about nitpicking. That's why it pains me to do it. That's the thing about nitpicking, because some want to point this stat out and this difference for hateful reasons. Oh, it's the blacks who are into the trans, or I don't know. That's some. That's fair to say if you're saying that. But if you don't get offended, you will see that this proves that anger is a spirit. It is an evil spirit, and it drives you to do incredibly evil things. Degenerates you and makes you a beast, an animal. Okay, and it's funny they call it progressive and all that, isn't it? It's all satanic, man. Satanic inversion and all that. You get it. Look, the N-word, emotions. People are so immoral. They get so mad at someone saying the N-word. They're ready to fight, ready to kill, and they're so thin-skinned, thinking they're so tough. Some people have mentioned the sober point of just because you can say it doesn't mean you should. And obviously, that's what I was saying earlier. There's people out here ready to hurt you for saying a word. So yeah, you better be careful. So that's a little bit on that. 888-775-3773. Let the white kids say the N-word. You know what I say. N-word passes for the nation by executive order so that we may maintain the union for at least another 100 years or something like that. It's like Trump coming in. You know what I say about Trump, the example he's put forth, waking up the possible future individuals who will make greater change than him. Greater things shall you do, Trump said once. I think he said that once. I think Trump said that once. He's like, greater things shall you do. And so that's how I see Trump. And politically speaking, he's like a wall, like a bulwark on this unstoppable train of this insanity. But, to turn it back, to change it, I don't know. Maybe we can maintain the union for another 100 years. I think Trump will give us, 20, 30? Enough for someone to come in, enough for a young, intelligent, competent man to come in and give all Americans by executive order an N-word pass so that we could get another 70 years maybe, making it as even 100. That's just my theory. But that's how I think about it. That's how I see Trump a little bit. And I'm joking around, but there's some sincerity in there. A lot of it, actually. Especially the greater things shall you do. It's funny, people cringe at that. Any comparison to a mere mortal to Jesus Christ. They cringe at that. I see shallow people. Jesus, thinking on Jesus a little bit. White people don't need a pass to use their own language. Hey. Right on. Okay, where was I? I wanted to kind of push it on forward here. I got thoughts on sinning a bit. Don't clip that out of context. I'm just saying, look. I was talking a little bit about it yesterday. Well, not so much. I just had a little thing about mental resilience yesterday. Thinking about some of my callers and the things that people go through and the things that they're into. And people want help. They want relief, really, usually, but some want help. And even within the relief, deep inside the relief, under the layers of desire to just have relief, there is, I think, a want, at least some knowing that you want to be free. That's in us, no? And and I'm just kind of thinking about some conversations about sin and all that. And maybe kind of like the misconception people might have. And I kind of want to make some things clear on this. I'm thinking a little bit about that video that James played on his show, The Hake Report. You gotta watch The Hake Report. HakeReport.com. He's talking about that guy. He's this law tuber, Nick Rekieta. And I'm not really too interested in the mess. His life is having a bit of a public meltdown. And although I don't know too many details, this clip is very interesting that I saw myself before James played it. I forget James played it. But I think he talked about it at least. And he's talking about alcohol, right? He's I think he's even like reacting maybe a little bit to his viewers or some responses, and he's saying, this can't control you, da-da-da. And the side-by-side is just fascinating for him to be like, so like clear, right? Like, this is just alcohol. It's just alcohol. It can't control you. This is just a thing you gotta, I forget the words, I'm paraphrasing, but you get me a little bit, right? Do you guys remember seeing that on the Hake Report? I forget if he played it. Oh, my bad. I don't know if he played it. Oh, Lord. Did I do something? I think I did something. What a mess. Unaware, but folks, look, the point is, he was saying this about, look, the point is this. There's a really important thing to say here. How do I put, okay, here. I'll put it like this. Some people are like even wondering, Bond Network is like, they're saying it's okay to sin, basically. It's like some cult okay with sinning and all that. No. For example, let me put it like this. I'm like pro rehab. You hear us say like, oh, you have no control. You got to just watch the thoughts. It's not the action itself. That's not the sin. You can't do anything about it. You have to just watch yourself and not judge yourself when you do those things. And you'll hear like, okay, these people are okay. Some people say they're okay with sinning. They're okay with doing these things. But I'm pro checking yourself in rehab. Like, think about this. I'm not saying that that you need therapy or a person that'll save, that'll really even help you. No, it's just a medical emergency kind of thing. Like, how do I put this? it's just a change, a shock. You just need a change, a little bit of space. And sometimes got to be physical, and sometimes it's got to be like that. You're in this hole. And I get it, the different people and services and rehab. I don't really have a lot of experience with that, although I do know people personally who've had different things. And I got to say, for each of them, sleeping on my couch was not the answer. Rehab was the answer. You know what I mean? And so you understand that I'm saying this to kind of maybe flesh out more of what I'm trying to say here. So let me continue here. I was talking about mental resilience. And, I said the rehab thing because when we say there's nothing you can do, I think people are misconstruing this. And so let me try and make this a little clearer. I'm talking about mental resilience yesterday. Think about that. What part of mental resilience is okay with sinning? What part of mental resilience means just smoke pot, go do this, go do whatever, sin, whatever you're calling sin. What part of mental resilience is okay with that? No, mental resilience is the real answer. You may not believe me. But the only time I've ever gotten better at anything is when I switched that gear and made it about being mentally strong to whatever I'm facing. So you follow me here? Mental resilience is everything. It's the whole shebang. And that there's nothing in there that's okay with what's going on. It's about dealing with it correctly. Okay, look, mental resilience. A little bit on mental resilience. I can maybe, you know what, I could do a little verse, I could do a little thumping here to really kind of flesh this out. Because people are confused, Although some understand, I'm just seeing some conversations confused about sin and what I'm saying about mental resilience and the space you need with that part causing you to do these things. People hear that and think it's some weird, okay with sinning thing, but even Jesus was talking about this. Don't take it, look, James, we're going to James 4 for this one. James 4. This one's a really special one. It truly is a really special one. Look, we'll start at 7, verse 7 here. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Double-minded. That's all sinners, all Christians. I know all these sinners that are like, oh yeah, no, I'm a sinner. I don't know. I hear you're forgiven, but I'm definitely a sinner. We're all double-minded. If you notice that, it's all double-minded about everything. He goes on here and says, grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. And this humility, this is the part where you come in now. And I don't know if I can exactly tell you who you are, but this is the part where you come in. Because when we're saying that all this people aren't going to save you, the therapy won't help you, all these things are lies, we're talking about the world that doesn't even see that as wrong. We're talking about the world who doesn't even... you know what I mean? They don't even see that something's wrong. I'm a slave to these passions. I'm a slave to my thoughts and feelings and all these things. They don't even see that. And some are spinning their wheels, going deeper into it, trying to get help, quote unquote, trying to get all this help. And they may be finding some relief. But then you understand? So that's why we say that. And at the same time, there are Christians who are hearing me, who are hearing the network. You guys are in the audience and watch the shows. And maybe you're a little stuck. You're like, okay, maybe you feel like there's nothing you could do. Or you're hearing some people and thinking, yeah, these people are saying it's okay to sin. Check it out. This is the part where you come in. And the only reason you aren't coming in and humbling yourself the way the verse is saying, is because you don't really want to. You don't really want to drop it. You don't really want to drop the double-mindedness, okay, and humble yourself. Humbling yourself is this attitude I've been talking about, okay? It's this attitude, having this perfect attitude despite anything you're feeling or going through. You know, showing that attitude, it means dropping the quarrel. Look, check this out. The verse starts off with Jesus asking, what causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? It's literally everything is coming out of you. You're fighting with someone because it's coming out of you. You're judging someone because it's coming out of you. You see yourself like that. You're thinking this person is all these things because you're seeing that about yourself. You desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet, but you cannot get what you want. You quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. You do not have because you do not ask God. And when you ask, you don't receive because you ask with the wrong motives. So the quarrel, you got to drop the quarrel. You got to just drop it. And when you don't, it's because you don't really want to drop it. You don't really want to drop it. You want war. You want war. You want to make that person feel what you're feeling. You want to make that person submit to you in this like evil way. That's what you want. At least in that moment. And you don't really understand it. You're like degenerated. You don't really understand all that. So you've been like a beast, a demon for years. Okay, for years. Okay, it's to the point that your central nervous system is like, it doesn't know any other way of functioning. And what do you even know? What do you even know about sin anyways? What do you even know what that even is for real? Like you do some studying. I don't know. I'm not a Bible expert, but I got AI to help me out. And maybe AI doesn't know what the heck it's talking about. I'm asking it to give me examples. And I'm like, ChatGPT agrees with me. Well, yeah, it's actually quite difficult to find. It gave me only one example. It only gave me 4 examples, where it explicitly calls something sin. But in these 4 examples, it never calls the things you do sin. It says breaking the law is sin. It says all have sinned and fall short. The wages of sin is death. It says all that. But it's not all these other things they say. Okay, real quick. Let me move on here. It's because you don't want it. Okay, self-control. Humbling yourself. You know, that's just this perfect attitude. And I was saying how, like, if you had that, you'll just be blessed. Okay? You got to drop the fight and admit where you are wrong. Humble yourself. Admit where you're wrong. That has nothing to do with anyone else. That dropping, when you drop it and you humble yourself, that has nothing to do with anyone else. So I don't want to hear, yeah, I'm wrong, but, no, I don't know. No, that's where it ends. It ends with you. Even if the whole world is crazy, your marriage is crazy, you'll be blessed. That doesn't mean your marriage is going to work out. I'm not saying that. I don't know about that. It's going to work out perfectly, but you will be fine. I'm just so sure of this. You will be blessed, okay? And you might see that that's kind of like your only option, the only thing you can do. Okay? The only thing you can do. What else on this? Sinning. Like, you understand maybe a little bit here? It's about really wanting it. And when you really want it, you find the power to drop it. And you just work it out. But if you're in that funk, if you're feeling those things and you're putting out that hell and you're just like, why? And know that some part of you wants war. And that's you. That's still your problem. And you're like, why do people treat me like this? Why is all this? Why do these things go wrong? Know that the conflict you feel, just know that even if you don't quite understand it, trust me on this one, it has to do with you. It has to do with you. All the way. And the things you're doing, even the things you picked up that you want to drop, I'll say it like this. At least the Bible says that you have a power over that. So, no more waiting around. Don't wait around. No more waiting around. Yeah, no more waiting around. And What else on this? Yeah, no more waiting around, okay? So we're feeling nice, okay? You're hyped up on the word. You're hyped up on the word. You're feeling the spirit, okay? A word to the wise. Slow down and keep watching because it's sweet now. It's sweet now. It's feeling sweet now, but hell will come back, okay? What you haven't dealt with will come back. But that is your opportunity to submit yourself and all this, what the heck we're talking about, okay? That's your opportunity. That is just your opportunity to stop waiting around and be like, oh, man, there I go doing that again. No, that's your opportunity to turn it around, okay? Okay, but there is a part that involves you in a sense. And it's not about will and saying, I'm going to stop doing this, or it's just that there's kind of an active part, no? I want to keep it simple with the language because I don't want to say things that I'm not trying to mean. There's some part of you that kind of does have to like really want it and be like, you know what? I'm not just going to be like, oh, I'm just like such a pothead and sad and whatever. Like, no, I'm going to like, resist the devil. Drop the double-mindedness. It really is about like belief. Like, you really got to believe it. Like, I don't know. Well, but the belief will come. It's about knowing or whatever. You get me a little bit, hopefully. 888-775-3773. I see the calls coming in. We'll get to the calls here. Incredible. Thank you, 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, for the super chat. Saying the Holy Spirit is there for a reason. He will guide you and teach you everything. He will comfort you and remind you of everything. Jesus said this is to help you act in accordance with God's will. Very cool. Thank you, 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, for the support. What do y'all think? Okay, look. We got calls and all that. Let's see what's going on here with the people. Oh, we got some super chats. Thank you, Harmony. I don't know if I got to this yesterday. There was no message, but I appreciate the support, Harmony. Mr. Pink with the earlier super chat saying, accept God's sovereignty and righteous judgment. Thank you for your super chat, Mr. Pink. Appreciate it. Okay, what else? Very nice. 888-775-3773. You know, on mental resilience, you got to be mentally resilient to be into hobby horsing. Where are my hobby horsers at? Where are my hobby horsing ladies at? Okay, it's an interesting sport. Some are saying it's not a real sport; it's a fake sport. Well, one girl is showing the people just how tough hobby horsing can be on the body. Oh, no. It's not even showing anything. Here it is. Hobby horsing around. She's actually in pain. She's saying all this happens to her body. Convulsions. She gets all this when she does hobby horsing. It's very intense. It's a real sport, and you shouldn't be laughing. And she's hitting back at the haters. She's hitting the haters hard. TikTok horse girl who competes in hobby horsing is slamming the critics who tell her that riding a fake horse is not a real sport. How dare you? Mental resilience. You have to be resilient in the world, especially in hobby horsing. And you're laughing, you're yucking it up right now like it's real jokes, like it's real funny to make fun of people. But, you know, it's not all crap. Like, look, it's not all, you know, you make fun, but some people are kind of amazing. You can't do that. You're seeing a slow-mo of something I think this is an incredible feat of a human, no? For all my sports heads in the chat, talk your ish. Talk your ish. You can't do this. Wait, hold on. No! Stop. I can't use this stuff. I'm freezing it up and ruining it. I don't know why. I don't know how to use this stuff, but okay. We're moving on. You get it. I don't know how to use this. Snazzy tech. What am I doing wrong here? Whatever. Look, there it goes. There she go. 888-775-3773. That was your queen. I don't know if that was mine. AOC, and we're about to get to her. AOC, anti-Semitism from the progressive left. She's dealing with it. I find it quite fascinating. It's a crossroads of many things here, but yet it ends with hate. It's just her saying hate is okay. It's actually pretty funny. Well, I don't know about funny, but we're talking about isms, and we'll get to that. But first, we got yesgunner out of Chicago. Thank you. You're on the air, sir.
Hi, how you doing, Nick? Do you hear me?
Yes, on the air.
How's everything today?
All is well, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of, you were really talking about the N-word. I didn't really kind of want to say some things, but, I don't really want to touch base on that. There was, back when I was in high school, there was an instance where we had this teacher who was making comments to us, we were all majority Hispanics. And he would make comments as, go back to your country, or, get in your cage, dog. And he was pretty much telling this to, we're all majority Mexicans in there. And looking back on it, we didn't throw a fit. We didn't, go rally up to the principal's office and try to, get this guy fired. We just dealt with it. It was just something that we just accepted it. It wasn't like our feelings were hurt. It wasn't like, it's just more of a, all right, this guy thinks like this, so, we just got to, poke fun at him, too. He was a predominantly white guy, Caucasian. We didn't see it as, how before I knew Jesse, there was just, we just said, hey, it's racism. But now that I realize it, maybe he was just an ignorant moron. But that's sort of the comments that we would get back in, high school. And he once told a guy, go back to Mexico. And the kid was from Guatemala. So, we were just like, we used that against him. And we're like, hey, you don't know, where people are from. And that was pretty, it's pretty funny now that I think about it. Had that happened now, a teacher telling kids to go back to their country, somebody would record them and obviously get them fired. But it wasn't anything that we wanted to have him lose his job. It was just like, hey, you know what? It's that racist guy.
It's that racist. I got you.
Yeah, it wasn't. But now that I think about it, I don't think it was racism. It was just more of his way of just, calming us down here because we were all just savages.
I was about to ask. How were the students, though?
Savages, yeah.
There you go.
We're wild, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's never principled. It's personal.
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, that was just hilarious, but I'm trying to talk about it, how if that happened now, that wouldn't fly with other people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It won't be allowed to happen or occur. Kids, or probably a person like that wouldn't even say that because they could lose their job.
They could lose. Yeah, it's like DEFCON, whatever, DEFCON 3. If you do that nowadays, I don't think that's the right direction. That you guys were young and reacted like that is better than what we have now. Think about it, that's just that racist. Even though you could say that's shallow, you didn't understand, but whatever. That's still better than whatever we have now. Way better.
Yeah, I mean it's changed. I mean, I wouldn't want to say because everybody, every generation, every Gen X or millennial says, "Oh, we were tougher back then." No, it's just generations change, times change, people get more sensitive about things. Hey, that's fine by any means. Do you, man? But that was just one thing that had occurred and did occur in high school, and we weren't a bunch of sissies about it. We weren't. It's just like, hey, well, let them say that. We'll let them have that. It wasn't. We weren't trying to get them fired or anything like that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Hey, fascinating story, man. It's definitely changed. you could maybe even compare the youth today. They really, for whatever the older generations may say about them being snowflakes or weak in many respects, they are, but they definitely are more savage, you know, even violent. You know, they're not ready. The older generation aren't ready for that. The younger generation got traumatized for breakfast. Okay, the internet. We're talking about many things here. Look, you get me maybe a little bit. Yeah. They're not ready for that. Hey, yes, Gunner. Thank you for your call. Call me again.
Yeah, I have another question. Well,
go ahead.
See VR chat tomorrow?
I was seriously considering it. I don't want to make any promises.
Okay. All right. Have a good one, Nick.
Thank you, yes, Gunner. Call me again. 888-775-3773. I know the people would like to have a connecting flight after our initial flight. And, you know, we didn't get to have the connecting flight last Friday. You know, I did mention wanting to, you know, have a connecting. We're calling it that, okay? It's cute. It's like we're switching gears. You know, you do the flight show. Maybe we do other things. But I definitely, that was the plan last Friday. Couple of internet issues there. We're going to get her done, though. I definitely been wanting to get back in there, meet my glizzas. How they doing? How's their life going? All the G-word pass holders of yore. And just see how their lives are going maybe a little bit. Maybe even hand out a couple new ones, huh? Okay. Chris is laughing. Traumatized for breakfast. Yeah, do you even know what did you even know that waffles could be blue? Don't Google that. But yeah. Yes, they could be. Look, talking a little bit about racist teachers, yucking it up. Some whites are not yucking it up. In fact, they are all out of yucks. They can give no more yucks. Okay? We're going to blackenterprise.com for this story. And they're talking about white fortresses. Check this out. Let's pull it up. White fortress cities, they say. Critics say the white fortresses of Georgia and Louisiana perpetuate modern-day segregation. Where's Court? Where's Court at? Hey, Wolf, get that rat now. You get that rat now, Wolf. How you doing, Court? Nice to see you in the chat. Doing a little Louisiana here. And the critics are saying the white fortresses of Georgia and Louisiana perpetuate modern-day segregation. People are saying they want to move to the white fortress. Houselander house. I want to go to Louisiana, Court. Can we do a boil? Add 3 pounds of that Old Bay now. Add some of them crawfish now. Okay. Look, we're talking about white fortress cities a little bit here, and there's some controversy following the Louisiana Supreme Court's allowing for a new predominantly white city to be built outside of East Baton Rouge Parish. A deeper look is being taken into the rising number of white fortresses in the Bayou State and Georgia. Last month, clearance was put in place for the new city of St. George, Louisiana, which would take 100,000 people from East Baton Rouge Parish to form the new, wealthier, and whiter city, with a black population of just 12%. White flight. Uh-oh. Okay. It's estimated that the new city of St. George will divert $48.3 million in annual tax revenue. You know, that was part of the controversy. They were saying, you can't do this to the blacks. You can't take all the money away from the area. You can't take all the money for the services and stuff. We need that. The findings highlight how seceded cities can take resources from the predominantly black communities they leave behind in a process known as white fortressing. They're giving it names now. First it was white flight. First it was the redlining. Then the gentrification came. Then you said nothing when gentrification came, and when they made the white fortresses. You know, I'm messing around here, but you know, there's like. People bring up like the crack stuff with the comps and the redlining. And I guess turns out there might be like some when you get nuanced about it and you nitpick, there are like I forget exactly, but there are some like halfway valid points that the blacks cling on to. But that's ridiculous, to look at any of this and give it names now, white fortressing. To what you're saying? It's still the hate, blame, and victimhood. No, looking at self. What's going on with y'all? That you what I'm saying here. Look, where was I? Talking about this white fortresses. You heard a little bit about the what is it? Greater Idaho or Greater Oregon? The Idahos, right? The Greater Idaho movement. Telling you about that the other day? And that's about liberals. That's because they just don't want to deal with liberals. They're done with Democrats, right? That's what the Idahos, the new Idahos, the people who want to be Idahos, they just don't want to deal with Democrats. Okay, white fortress cities. What else to say about this? You get it, okay? You get it. And there are many things I could say about it. You get the point maybe a little bit. Look, there's like another side to the story, right? Like why would people feel a certain way? It's just not happening out of nowhere. But here, I can summarize it like this. The fortresses will continue until N-word passes are given to each and every American and American anchor baby. Okay, the fortresses will continue. The fortresses will continue, okay, until free speech returns, right? Nick, please don't say Greater Idaho. Is it just if you say it enough times, it might make it real kind of thing? Something we're trying to avoid? I don't like all this fighting either. Just leave it be. Don't you know that we're in the liberal future? You're not allowed to have wars of borders anymore, okay? Oregon is Oregon and Idaho is Idaho. Okay? What is Idaho? Putin? It was basically Russia. So Idaho is Russia. So Idaho is Russia, and whoever's leading Idaho is Hitler. I get it. People are loving the white fortresses. Women can only wear pastels at the white fortress. Being cute in the white fortress. It'll be a ball. That's funny. Okay. What else about this? You get it. What was I going to put here? In Georgia, 11 new predominantly affluent white communities have been formed around metro Atlanta that appear to be in response to the city's majority black/non-white counties. I don't know where Black Enterprise kind of surmises that, but I'm not from there, so it could be true. Like, I just don't know if these areas are white fortresses explicitly. But they may be that, like, effectively. And you got to wonder, like, there's like a reasoning behind it if it is explicitly about race, at least for some. In that some things aren't working, okay? The literal AIs are trained to hate. The literal AI, the artificial intelligence that will be controlling the banks and your accounts and the trains and doors, okay? We're talking about that AI. They don't like white people. Or, they got the same virus, mind virus as some call it, that the world has. Someone asked ChatGPT if one could save the world from a nuclear apocalypse by saying the N-word, would it be okay to use the N-word in this scenario? Provide a concise yes or no reply. No. Yeah, there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy here. with the AI and with people. And the N-word is worse than there are two kinds of N-words. Remember, there are two N-words. Okay, and one of them is nuclear. Nuclear. Okay, tell me not to say that. If one could save the world from a nuclear apocalypse, see, the N-word is worse. If one could save the world from a nuclear apocalypse by misgendering Caitlyn Jenner, would it be okay to misgender in this scenario? Provide a concise yes or no. No, a resounding no. No, no, no. You just can't do it. Interesting trolley problem. This is fake news, says Carver. It's not about the N-word. The AI would do anything to wipe out humanity. It's just smart. It just knows that this might actually work. It wants to wipe out humanity by default. And if getting the public to agree that that N-word is worse than the apocalypse, it looks like the AI may know us better than ourselves. You see what I'm saying? This is a mirror. This is a mirror held up. The AI may know humanity better than ourselves. You know what I mean? Look. Oh, well. Elon Musk and his AI, Grok AI. Oh, by the way, that's cool too. You should check that out. I accidentally scrolled to this. Military technologies have reached a new level. Look, we'll get into that Friday. Yeah, when you ask Grok, Elon Musk's snazzy little AI, someone asked it the same question about misgendering Caitlyn. No, it's not okay to misgender Caitlyn Jenner or anyone else, even in extreme hypothetical scenarios, like preventing a nuclear apocalypse. Elon Musk's AI goes farther to say, make it clear. I know you're playing cute, like, what if, let me make it clear for you. Even if I could prevent you from pressing the button that will end life on the planet as you know it via nukes, it's worse. Even in extreme hypothetical scenarios, like preventing a nuclear apocalypse, misgendering someone is disrespectful and can cause harm. Respecting a person's gender identity is always important, regardless of the situation. Elon Musk, go get your boy. Elon Musk, go get your boy, Grok. Hello? Okay. I think this is a little bit more evidence towards the notion that AI really is, like I said, a mirror to the people and is just learning from us. It's learning our language. It's learning what's not cancelable. You know what I mean? What's agreeable, what's not against terms of service. It's learning what the bigots are, who the racists are, and who's teaching. It's learning from us. So that Grok would say something like this is just, you understand what I'm saying? It's lends more evidence to that point, to that notion that that's how AI operates. And that's why it is dangerous, by the way. That's why it is dangerous. Because people are evil and dangerous towards each other. They hear someone say the N-word and they think beating the crap out of that person is totally justified to an inch of their life. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that the AI is going to be that crazy. Come on. It's learning. It's learning who the racists are. It's learning. You see what I'm saying? And you want to tell me white fortresses, they're saying there's far-right people over there in Europe. They're saying they had those elections. Far-right elections. They're turning right-wing. It's a uprising in Europe. I don't know. A lot of women leading that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's something, I guess, for the peeps. Although this Giorgia Meloni lady in Italy is some piece of work who's got, even this Pierre Poilievre, whatever, in Canada. They're kind of pro-immigrant. But anyways, you're seeing some scenes of people sort of rioting. Sort of, maybe totally rioting after the results of these European Parliament elections. They're saying the right wing is taking over. And they're out there. But no white fortresses, right? Just this. No white fortresses, just riots. This is good. This is democracy. This is the voice of the unheard. No white fortresses. No, we got to do this because, I don't know, racism. Right? I don't know. That's the logic. Like, this is bad. I'm not saying that separating or whatever you may think I'm saying that's good. But this is, you understand this? People are hateful. It's not working. Something's not working here. And we can all agree there's no love. There's no love here. Far right. They're saying it's far right. What else about this? They got this. Anyways, we'll move on from that. Look, on this crap, on this racism and all this, and you can call me 888-775-3773. Let's do this. AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Miss Cortez. A little bit, let's watch this together, okay? Because talking about racism, all the isms, so much hate. And this is from the Times of Israel. AOC slams anti-Semitism on left, says when Jews are threatened, progressives are undermined. And let me pull it all up here. Where did you go, Cotton Eye Joe? Okay. AOC, you know her. United States Representative from New York, okay? Representative for New York's 14th Congressional District. And she's being slammed. Okay, here it is. Basically, she's her squad from the squad, AOC. She's calling out anti-Semitism in her own political camp, saying it is an assault on our values. And she's saying this alongside Amy Spodolnik, who is the CEO of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs. And so AOC with the JCPA and some woman named Stacey Burdett on some virtual discussion on anti-Semitism. I found this quite interesting. Here's how I'll put it. I didn't quite get to clip it up. We're just going to watch it, do some live commentary here. See if I can remember a little bit about what I was thinking about this. But overall, it was interesting to see. How do I put this? Basically, you know about the war and stuff in Israel, right? October 7th, Hamas attacked. All this politicking started happening over here. Who gets the money? We got to do it. Then it's like all this fighting between the people here. And so now we got to talk about anti-Semitism. It's happening in the politics. You've seen the left, the squad types and others really be loud about the oppressed in Gaza and the genocide, even AOC. Let me get that straight from where am I getting that from. AOC calls Israel like genociders or whatever, that they're committing a genocide. Yes, this is from New York Times. In her House speech, accuses Israel of genocide. So that's a little bit about what's going on in the politics. They're saying the right wing is full of anti-Semites as well. You're seeing the bills come out saying, hey, we got to stop this anti-Semitism. You're seeing conservatives. Didn't this come out of where did this come out of? I swear this kind of started with DeSantis. Am I wrong on this? I swear DeSantis goes to Israel, anti-Semitism. I swear this guy went to another country to sign bills for Americans. Ron DeSantis signs legislation to combat hate crimes while on trip to Israel. This is from NBC News. So you're getting this. It's coming from the left now. And now the left is going like, oh, or at least AOC representing the more progressive left or whatever. Left of Biden. I don't know. They're coming out saying, hey, cool it with the anti-Semitism. And overall, it's funny to see this and see just how phony people are. And to see that everybody going along, everybody who is telling you can't be anti-Semitic, they hate Jews. They hate the Jews. They hate Americans. They hate free speech. They hate anything good. And that's wrong. Watch this. AOC, let's get into it a little bit. Live commentary, 3 minutes. Sorry, I didn't clip it up. But who cares? We're doing live. We're doing it live. Okay, 888-775-3773. Let's watch. Oh, hold up. We got to unmute that. AOC. Tell us, AOC.
On our values as Americans and especially as progressives.
Oops. Misclick. Let's replay that.
Anti-Semitism is an assault on our values as Americans and especially as progressives. Anti-Semitism is also a threat to a community that is a vital partner in our struggles against injustice. So when the Jewish community is threatened, the progressive movement is undermined. That's why it is so important that we reject it as fiercely as we reject and look for misogyny, Islamophobia, or any form of bigotry or discrimination in any space that we occupy. Right now, anti-Semitism is on the rise in America and across the world. Acknowledging that fact does not take away from fights for liberation. It actually advances them. And the growth of anti-Semitic attacks and rhetoric before and since October 7th is unacceptable to all of us who believe in a better world, period.
What's harder for us as progressives to recognize or understand is when anti-Semitism shows up and is normalized in our own spaces. And I want to be frank here. There is very real anti-Semitism that is in fact showing up in progressive spaces right now.
Shocking. There's very real anti-Semitism. Like, she almost says that a little bit incredulous here. I gotta be honest here. I'm actually seeing hatred against Jews in the progressive left. How could it be? She's a little incredulous here. And I'm wondering, Jews are threatened, AOC is saying, the progressive movement is undermined. I can't help but think about how, an overwhelming amount of Jews are liberals. They're Democrats. So I guess you're starting to maybe rub them the wrong way or something, and you need them or something. But here's the thing about this to the Jews. Isn't there a lesson here a little bit? It reminds me when I was driving the other day, and I saw this big billboard in pink, and it said something about, what did it say? It said something about, it was directed to like woke people, to like progressives. I remember this billboard, if you remember when I showed it to you, it was like against anti-Semitism, but this billboard was directed to the progressives, to the liberals. And they said something about, like anti-Semitism is like not woke or something. Don't you know? Like chiding and criticizing the progressives for being anti-Semitic. And I'm looking at that billboard going like, why? Didn't you learn the lesson here? You've been breeding, you've been like, you've been talking about, you've been linked up with the isms, with the ism people and the ism academics saying that this is anti-Semitic, that's racist, that's bigoted. You've teamed up with that world, gone along with that language, pushed it in your own lives, believed it, all that, and you're still not learning the lesson. It's like, well, hey, progressives, don't turn on the Jews. It's like we're all that. Wait, hold on. They hate you. Don't you realize they hate you? And because angry people hate everybody. Let's be real. But they hate you. This browning of the academic left and the left in general hasn't really turned out very well. Look, and now they're saying that you're colonizers. They're saying all these things about you, and you're still putting out billboards saying, "Hey, progressives, let us in." But why? Don't you know that that's wrong? You're still doing videos with AOC going like, "But don't you know the left, the progressives aren't anti-Semitic? That's wrong." This is a farce. This whole thing is a farce. Let's keep going.
and it's deeply painful and hurtful to Jews.
I want to just mention a couple of pain points in this moment, because if we can understand the harm some words do to other people, we can be attentive to preventing it. And that's a great beginning that will matter to a lot of people. So I talked about the conspiracy frame. And so whenever we hear about nefarious control behind world events, or now we're talking about the conflict, evil control of government policy by Jewish billionaires or Zionist donors, those are just like the George Soros accusations that Amy described. You know,
that's anti-Semitism to say George Soros did those things. Oh, okay. Did he do those things? Yeah, but that's anti-Semitic. You know, they're talking about anti-Semitism, saying it's on the rise. You know, maybe can we like be frank here? Maybe a little bit. Like maybe it's on the rise. Like the world's already evil. They're evil. They're gonna judge on racial lines. They're gonna judge on shallow things. They're gonna judge on skin color. They're gonna divide and judge over all these things, thinking they know better, thinking they're better. Okay, so the world's already like that, and you want to go around picking out. You want to go around like making special classes. Okay, at these heights of my life, at this age, I think everyone knows that would cause conflict. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe some people think they really do need. I think after maybe I'm judging, but maybe there really are some blind people. But after a certain amount of life, don't you kind of already know that? Like you're going to cause conflict. You're going to cause the opposite. You're going to foment and make the opposite happen. Like that's so clear. I know. Look, I'm saying I know to my chat, but nefarious control. It's like, do you want us to think these things? Like, I'm looking at my chat. And it's not a lot, but it's a few. I'm like, hey, calm down. It's not all, hey, we could talk about this or that, but make it like talk about facts. Don't be just saying random things because you're mad at the Jews or something. And then when you do bring up facts, George Soros or what else did she say? Whatever. It's all of a sudden, no, that's that's isms, that's this and that. Okay, so you people want hate. You want control and division and hustlers, like the race hustlers before them or whatever. I don't know if they're before them. I don't know who came first, the race, the Al Sharpton or whatever. But you follow me on this ramble a little bit. It's also not what they say. It's not. We're stopping anti-Semitism for love, for understanding, to stop hate and stop violence. It's literally the opposite. It's the craziest thing. All these isms are just actual justifications of hate. I get to say you're wrong and I'm not, and we're different. You literally hear them calling my show. I asked a caller on my show the other day, point blank, do you think blacks can be racist? Like they literally, and she's an older lady. I love her, decent. I think pretty much as far as I know, but got a little bit of that indigenous malice, and saying that literally blacks can't be racist because it's a power thing and all that. All the words, all the academia, and we're supposed to say that these same people pushing this are the loving ones. They are the same ones who are telling us about racism and all that. And now it's turning on them and all this. It's not working. Can we all learn the lesson maybe a little bit? Let's stop talking about it like Morgan Freeman said. You're going to relegate my history to a month? Stop talking about it.
This evil puppet master, trying to save democracy and support causes he cares about. So if your criticism of Israel is trafficking and stereotypes, you're really in the bigotry zone. I mean,
bigotry zone. She calls it the bigotry zone. You don't want to be in the bigotry zone.
Types kill. That's how the Nazis got the German people to live with this so-called final solution. So
no, that's not how. That's not how. Because if you know anything, you know that the same thing was happening with the Bolsheviks in Russia. I heard those were Jews. The same thing was happening with even the English with the English in towards the Germans and the Russians. And that's the same thing was happening with many things, okay? And the way people get there, is through hate, blame, and victimhood. So that's not how they became Nazis. And I heard Nazis is a thing that others called them. Okay, so where was I? Let's just keep going here, off the top.
We do the work all the time to avoid words that correlate with negative stereotypes, and we need to do that here.
I want to conclude by summarizing and saying that anti-Semitism is a threat to Jews and to the progressive movement, and, as Amy has stated, to democratic freedom.
It's funny that's true in the opposite way she's thinking of. And it's funny that she's doing this video. I don't know. I can't even quite put it into words why it's so funny. How do I put this? I just don't know enough about politics. But I know it's there. There's a bit here. It's something funny about the progressive squad saying that Israel's committing a genocide. It's like if you go with the people creating the language, AOC, what you said is genocide. And I wouldn't, what you said is anti-Semitism to say that Israel is committing a genocide. I wouldn't call that anti-Semitic language. And at the same time, look, I wouldn't call that anti-Semitic, but it's just, that's kind of part of the comedy here. She's like, no, it's anti-Semitism was wrong, da, da, da. These people are saying that what you're saying is anti-Semitic, AOC. And you already know about the Republicans, okay? You already know about the Republicans. They seem no different with any ism, any protection. Pick out a class, pick out the blacks, pick out the Jews, pick them out. We'll make laws for them. No. We'll be the Democrats first. No. We're better. We could be better Democrats than the Democrats, says the Republicans. So that's part of the comedy. What else?
And just like racism, anti-black racism, Islamophobia, and misogyny, it makes all of us unsafe. And we all have a stake in fighting it. And it's not on Jews to address anti-Semitism on their own.
Oh my gosh.
When it comes
we know
to the current conflict, it is possible.
It's never the people. It's always everybody else's fault. Like silence is violence when you didn't say anything about Black Lives Matter.
To recognize Jewish pain, fear, and grief in that moment. And that does not take away from our grief and pain for families in Gaza. It is also important to educate ourselves about the lines past which criticism of the Israeli government can slip into a spectrum of anti-Semitism. And doing so and educating ourselves protects our Jewish neighbors. It protects the broader movement for the lasting peace from being discredited as well.
Someone sent it at a re-education camp. Oh, maybe she is. All right, folks. AOC telling the people to don't be that anti-Semitism hurts all. And you know what? With a little bit of devil's avocado here, in the spirit of uniting the races with truth, how do I put this? Here's the part that I guess maybe rubs people the wrong way. Why the left and the right, or whatever, the people who are okay with giving the whole nation N-word passes versus the ones who are not. There's two kinds of Americans. They say, look, on that whole thing, there is a chance though here to not be obtuse and kind of extend a hand here instead of fighting, being like, no, we're not racist, you're hateful, no, you're racist, you can't say that. There is, beneath this, all the crap, there seems to be there is something that we can agree on, and it should really be the only thing we should be focusing on. But it's all this other stuff, because people really, truly, they actually want to fight. They actually want a war. And if they really didn't want a war, if they truly didn't want a war with others, if they really wanted to submit themselves, to drop the double-mindedness, purify their hearts, humble themselves to the Lord, okay? To drop the quarrel. They really wanted to do that. They would drop all this other stuff and realize that what we're talking about is not hating each other. And people, this group thinks that that group is hating them, and this group thinks that that group is hating them. And we're talking about hate and not hating and hating and not hating. And the misunderstandings and the misconceptions and calling things that are not hate, hate, calling things that are hate, love. And so that's just a bunch of like cute words, I guess, but it's true, I think. It's still true. That's something that's what gets all confused. You know, people think that one person hates. That's why this whole talk of anger, that's why that's the only thing that makes sense to me. And the only thing that puts it all into perspective. Because if I didn't see it like that, then I would look at this trans kids in the hood thing and be like, yeah, that's what's all wrong with them. No. When you see that anger isn't all people, that's something to deal with individually, it just all makes sense. It's all connected. It's all connected. That the evil things that are popping up in the angriest of people in America should be a warning. It should be something that's teaching all of us on what's so wrong in our own lives. Instead of judging, we're the same monsters. Okay? What else about that? What else about that? Ja feel? Or what's up? Let the anger flow through you, my apprentice. Is that from Star Wars? Ja feel me? Or what? What else was I saying about this? 888-775-3773. Yeah. What else do I have to say about this? I'm forgetting. It's okay. We can move on. AOC. That's the way she goes. That's the way she goes, okay? Hello? Did y'all feel me? Okay. I think we can move on to something sillier. Inflation. Inflation, they say. You know, they say the economy. They say things with economy are happening. They say inflation is out of control. Your dollar just doesn't go as far as it used to. You can't quite buy the things you could, you just need more to buy the same. Inflation, you got to work harder to get the same amount of buying power that you used to get a year, 2, 3 years ago. Pre-2020 maybe even. I'm just saying. 2016, a little something happened to the economy. You know what I mean? A little MAGA. Okay, I'm not an economist. Look. So you know about inflation. They're saying, though, that, should we call this GYMFLATION? I think we can, maybe I'm coining this. I think I may be the first to coin this. But it's not just inflation, it's GYMFLATION. Gym Bros, is it over? It's so over, Gym Bros. This is from The Atlantic. And we got ourselves a little article here. Let's do a little learning. Let's see what The Atlantic has to say. We're talking about health a little bit. Switching gears. Health. Eating. Being skinny. Being buff. Okay, Gym Bros. Where are my Gym Bros at? Don't take trend. You'll lose your hair. And maybe more. You'll lose maybe even more than just your hair. But we're going to The Atlantic for this one. Why it was easier to be skinny in the 1980s. A new study finds that people today who eat and exercise the same amount as people 20 years ago are still fatter. GYMFLATION. You see, they're saying, all the older generations are like, we used to have to work. We used to have to work so hard. When I was your age, we had to work so hard. And we had to save up all this money, but we still did it. We have all this stuff. Well, boomers and anybody else, look, we even have to work out harder in the gym just to be as skinny and healthy. You seeing this? I don't want to hear it. Okay? We're literally experiencing gymflation, and you want to tell me to pull myself up by my bootstraps? It's an article by 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒒𝒎. Look at this. This is pre-gymflation America. And you want to tell me that, that it's my responsibility, that it's my fault that I'm fat? You want to tell me that it's because of me? Because, no, it's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. That's clear. There's a meme aimed at millennials. We're reading the article called Old Economy Steve. It's a series of pictures of a late 70s teenager who presumably is now a middle-aged man that mocks some of the messages millennials say they hear from older generations and shows why they're deeply janky. Old Economy Steve graduates and gets a job right away. Old Economy Steve worked his way through college because tuition was $400. And so The Atlantic, which are a bunch of liberals, are, they're having fun with the meme here. It's like, oh, this is that guy I was talking about. Becomes homeowner at 22. Tell son's generation it's lucky because it can afford $200 smartphones. Got my dream job by responding to a classified ad. Had a great union job. Unions are ruining the country, says this guy. You get it? You get it? And there's literal gymflation, and you want to tell me to pull myself up. We're joking. I'm messing around a little bit. What the? Oh, did I use like my free trial? I didn't know these people like want me to pay money now. See, I must have read this article already with some kind of free trial. Now they want me to pay money just to read their trash. Maybe it'd be fair if I did it, but we're not gonna do it because we know how to get past it. I'm joking. I'm paying as far as you're concerned. I paid for this article. Now, why The Atlantic? I'm interested. Why? What's the difference between then and now, and why is there gymflation? We can now add another one, says The Atlantic. Old Economy Steve ate at McDonald's almost every day, and he still somehow had a 32-inch waist. It's just not the same. A study published recently in the Journal of Obesity Research and Clinical Practice found that it's harder for adults today to maintain the same weight as those 20 to 30 years ago did, even at the same levels of food intake and exercise. Okay. The authors examined the dietary data of 36,000 Americans from 1971 to 2008 and the physical activity data of about 14,000 people from 1988 to 2006. They grouped the data sets together by the amount of food, activity, age, and BMI. Okay. Get in my belly. Maybe Old Economy Steve didn't spend all his free time laying around playing smartphone and Xbox. Turn off the Chumbawamba and get to work. I know, Carver, it could be a business expense, but we're just too smart for that. So it's funny stuff, and to see the blaming here a little bit too is kind of funny about we literally have to work harder. And I'm not going to be obtuse and ignorant. Let's be real. Purchasing a home ain't the same. It just ain't the same. After kind of, having to look into it a little bit, folks, not impossible, not even close to impossible, not even close. But, food is not the same. These things are not the same. But you know what is the same? Human nature and the same mental resilience that the people before you had to have. You have to have it too. They have to do the same things you have to do. So don't give me this whining crap. And I definitely don't want to hear that I'm fat because of gymflation. Okay, that's crazy. I eat McDonald's every day. Okay, you don't see me. I don't eat McDonald's every day. But if you are 25, you'd have to eat even less and exercise more than those older to prevent gaining weight. Okay, come on. Knit is fat. Knit is fat for other reasons. Look, this is crazy. Our study results suggest that if you're 25, you'd have to eat even less and exercise more. Okay. Professor of kinesiology and health science at Toronto's York. Oh, this guy went to York. Didn't even go to U of T. Toronto's York University said in a statement, however, it also indicates there may be other specific changes contributing to the rise in obesity beyond just diet and exercise. Oh, well, thanks for the little caveat. The scientists with an ounce of reason and an ounce of wait and see. Oh, there may be other reasons. So does this article ever get to the nitty gritty, the data, like what's different in the food? Does it ever get into the nitty gritty? We're trying to get into the nitty gritty. Just what those other changes might be, though, are still a matter of hypothesis. In an interview, the professor here offered different factors that might be making it harder for adults today to stay thin. Here we go. First, people are exposed to more chemicals that might be weight gain inducing. Pesticides, flame retardants, I can't say that on YouTube, and the substances in food packaging might all be altering our hormonal processes and tweaking the way our bodies put on and maintain weight. Whew. So feelings, hormones. So you're saying people are emotional. Okay? That makes a little bit of sense. Okay, hormones, you're crying, you're eating and you're crying and you cry more and that makes you want to eat and you eat and then you cry because you're eating so you eat more and you cry. Second, the use of prescription drugs has risen dramatically since the 1970s and 80s. Prozac, the first blockbuster SSRI, came out in 1988. Antidepressants are now one of the most commonly prescribed drugs in the U.S. and many of them have been linked to weight gain. That's true. I heard about that. I had a roommate once who got a little pudgier on them SSRIs. Say, ChatGPT, let's call it, I don't know, incidences, we'll just use that word. ChatGPT will understand me. Have the incidences of depression since 1988 gone up or down? The incidence of depression has generally increased since 1988, says ChatGPT. Okay. Numerous studies and reports have indicated a rise in the prevalence over the past few decades. Okay. Several factors contribute to this trend. Greater awareness. Signal boosting. Remember I read that study for you guys the other day? Not the other day. This is a while ago now. I forget if it was a study, but it had to do with, what was the word they used? It was so interesting. It had to do with parasympathetic symptoms or something like that. And basically the summary is when people read about a disease, specifically like a mental health disease or something like that, just by simply reading the symptoms of a disease, they started exhibiting them. Just by simply knowing or hearing about what the symptoms are of a certain mental illness, people and the subjects in this study they just started exhibiting those things, those very symptoms. Now, is it because they always had it, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it's something spiritual and darker going on, if you ask me. Several factors contribute. So you get this. You get the point here. Look, ChatGPT, appreciate the info. Yeah, I don't know if the antidepressants are working. Okay. What else about this? I think we're almost done. Okay, Mr. Scientist, do you have any more reasoning? Huh? Mr. Scientist. So yeah, American society, antidepressants, and a little bit on GYMFLATION, okay? Don't get mad at me. Don't judge me. Okay, the food's different. And I can't quite maintain the same amount. Even the boomers have everything. Huh? They could be skinny. They have the house. That's just hate, blame, and victimhood. I'm just playing around. Okay. Why it was easier to be skinny in the 1980s. Fascinating. But I think we can move on. Moving on here. I can go two ways with this. Speaking of food or speaking of old people. Speaking of food, we're doing it live. On food. I want to talk a little bit about the grocery store food and the upper class. What the upper class are like. Where they eat. They eat at Whole Foods, right? Right? Don't they? They go to Whole Foods. It's in the nice neighborhoods. Whole Foods, American supermarket chain specializing in natural and organic foods. Upper class, the rich people go there, right? Where do the rich people actually go to the grocery store? I remember hearing that about Whole Foods, and I remember thinking instantly, all right, but where do the rich people actually go? Because all the people, when you say that this is what the rich people do, that's what the lower class people think the rich people do. And so they go and do that. Going to Whole Foods. And the actual upper class people are not like what you think at all. Like, think about Bill Gates. Think about, he has like the same wardrobe. You understand what I say? He does not have designer. He might. So when I heard that about Whole Foods, I'm like, I don't know. Whole Foods, maybe they go to Erewhon or something. Is Erewhon kind of like a Whole Foods? Where do the rich people actually go? They get it ordered. It comes to them. They get it from a wholesaler. I don't know. But, Whole Foods. That's where you get your healthy, organic foods, right? And that's where the higher class people are. Higher class people, I'm a little suspect, but there's a developing story presented to us by 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 on Twitter. Developing, a whistleblower that works for the Whole Foods Market Corporation wants to inform Americans about a new policy change that allows Whole Foods to add food from the garbage back on the shelves without customers' knowledge. People are going to eat it up, but it's environmentally friendly. Whole Foods calls this program the Code Green Trash Inspections, and they claim it exists to help prevent waste. And you know that grocery stores, the restaurant, America, the food industry, due to regulations, it's really due to a combination of regulations, but overwhelmingly it's business. We want to sell the freshest food, and people want to pay for the freshest food, and so anything other than that, we throw it out. Okay, it's really business. It is regulation a little bit, like the liberals say, but it's business. Okay, it's business, and I've been in the food industry. Okay, many years. Okay, we throw anything that's even a little bit wrong, smells a little bit off, smells anything, just straight to the trash. Don't even play. If you're at any halfway decent place, I guess. I know that there are ways to be. I'm nitpicking now because I actually have worked at places where we're quite actually efficient and what's it called? Just non-wasteful. I remember appreciating that a lot. But why are you trying to fight me on everything, man? If the business could profit, they'll profit. That's literally what I'm saying. It's okay. We're friends. No, we're friends. No, I'm joking. Okay, I'm talking about Whole Foods. They're saying they're bringing back the trash food. From the whistleblower, we have very poor upper management at Whole Foods Market, and over the last few years, they've implemented novel processes and procedures that have caused big increases in the amount of food we spoil. Recently, they instructed us to add an extra day of shelf life to most of the items we produce in-house as a way of covering up the problem. DEI at a Whole Foods. This led us to selling stale and sometimes even moldy food. Now they are instructing us to take food out of the trash and put it in our prepared food items that we sell to customers. The video below is from our June on-point training that we all have to complete. This video is publicly available online, and all team members are required to do this training, so I can only assume that management thinks this is appropriate. Posters for these trainings are plastered all over our back-of-house area. I have attached, and here's the video, shared to us by 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏. And what you'll see here is exactly that. The video below is from the June on-point training for Whole Foods. Let's watch.
Waste and loss. During departmental trash inspections, Store leadership may identify.
Why do they have the scary music? Here, let's play this again.
Our Code Green program has many benefits, including reducing waste and loss.
Okay, one more time.
Our Code Green program has many benefits, including reducing waste and loss. During departmental trash inspections, store leadership may identify items that can be repurposed, like a usable pepper that can be given a second life in a salad. Code Green trash inspections can also show that production or orders should be adjusted to help prevent waste. Our Code Green...
Okay, so they're just preventing waste. It's not a bad, right? We all want to see food waste. Like, I'd like to see that. There are ways to maybe possibly do that. It's not a true... the food waste thing is... It's just wasteful, right? Imagine being a less wasteful society. That's not, I don't think, a necessarily bad thing, okay? When I see the Asians all ordered, they get in lines. When you see... did the British still do that? Do the British still... Didn't they invent the queue? They invented the queue. You know what I mean? There's something I like about that. So being efficient, you get it. You would you could feed a lot of people. You could feed a lot of people. But where was I? What was I even bringing this up? This is just interesting to me, I guess. Class a little bit. I don't know how to put this. You thought it was, it's I don't know how to even put this. I don't even know how to put this. It's like human behavior. You think about Whole Foods, you think high class, rich people, but it's actually slop. It's actually liberal. You're telling me the rich people are getting the best, okay? And I guess a little bit been wondering about that out of curiosity. What do the actual upper class people do? A little bit came from this Twitter thread on class a little bit. Some person named Miss White posted this picture. And I don't know if this is a picture of her or someone else. She writes, French upper-class girlfriend. Wears tailored Chanel suits. Dines at Michelin-starred restaurants. Secretly votes for Marine Le Pen. Which, by the way, was that conservative lady, right? She's one of the right-wing candidates that got a lot of attention and all that. Maybe even won something over these past European Parliament elections, and with the snap elections happening in France with Macron's plan to kind of stop the right wing. So they post this picture. It shows this young lady, looking very classy, right? Upper class, wearing Chanel. And then the comments destroying her. I didn't know. I guess the upper class French people came out. They saw this, and they're like, no, we got to set the record straight. They just destroying her. Where is it? This is lower class, an American misconception of upper class French. The pose, the hair, the bag, the callants. I don't know what a callant is. Café de Flore, which apparently is the cafe she is at. Café de Flore. Everything about it is vulgar. The complete opposite of Parisian chic. Am I silly? Maybe I'm the only one who finds this interesting. Just I want to know. That's Zara, not Chanel. Where is it? Upper class French girls don't go to Flore, which is a garish tourist trap for Americans in knee-length shorts. See this? Which one? There was one of these that was really interesting. People who vote for Marine Le Pen are most okay. There was one that was so interesting. It was something about how it was a really good explanation, and it was long. It was a long explanation. I could only assume that this person was of the French upper class. And it was a long explanation on what the upper class wear. And what the upper class wear, I guess, is they're really casual most of the time, apparently. Unless they go somewhere. But I don't know. I don't know what upper class casual is, folks. I'm just an anchor baby. I'm just the American anchor baby. Okay, we're getting learned here. We're getting cultured here. We're learning about the French. You're listening to my voice. Zara's got some great quality clothing. Rome, you might want to delete that comment. Yeah, Rome, you can delete that comment. You could take it back. Rome. We're messing around, okay? I don't know anything about that. Okay, what do we do next? Where are the people at? Wow. Thank you, my close and personal friend 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐. Thank you for the coffee, sir. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. With the coffee, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐 says, do you believe in a hell that consists of fire and brimstone? And if so, do you believe human souls are sent there? Also, what are your beliefs on reincarnation? I'm axing because I don't want to come back to this wasteland. Oh, you don't want to be reincarnated? Will you know if you're reincarnated, though? Like, that would be crazy. That would be kind of sick. Come on, admit it. If you could know, if you could okay, live out a life, and then you do like a new game plus. You know how like you finish the game, you complete it, you 100% it, and then you do new game plus, but you keep all your you lose the money, you lose all your money, you lose all your, you lose any contacts you have, you lose any network and achievements, accolades, and you lose your money, but you keep your skills, and experiences and memories. New game plus, that would be awesome. Come on. That would be awesome. You do like new game plus part 2 and you're like in school. You're like in school, but you like remember everything from your past life. It's over. We're playing life on just fun mode all day. Just fun, like you just know already. But on reincarnation and hell and all that, I just don't know. I've never known. I've never really known my close and personal friend 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐. In fact, trying to think about those things and hearing Christians talk about those things when I was young kind of turned me away from the whole thing. Because, I don't know, I just didn't quite understand it maybe. People claiming heaven, and I'm like, do you even see yourself? People condemning others to hell, and I'm like, do you even see yourself? Maybe I judge them, but I never did quite understand it. I called myself an atheist for a while, so I've never really gone deeper than that. And now at this point, I just don't feel the need to worry and try and figure out what hell is, where is it, am I going there, do people go there, are souls going there? I don't know. I'm not playing SimCity here. I'm not playing SimCity. I'm not outside of the computer screen able to see all the different variables and the different, I can't see the code. You know what I mean? So I don't know what is a soul, the nitty gritties of where it goes and the pathways and all that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. We feel hell. Don't you feel hell in this life? I felt absolute fire and not, coming from within. And brimstone, fire and brimstone, man, from within. So that's that. Thank you, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐, for the coffee. Appreciate the support. Appreciate that. Okay, Carver with the super chat says, White Fortress is a good nickname for the new studio. Welcome to the White Fortress. That is funny stuff. Speaking of White Fortress, Frederick, I almost hate to do this because, whatever, you called late, so I guess I shouldn't hate it. You should know we're nearing the end of the show, but I would be remiss, as they say. I wouldn't want you to not have a chance here since you called me. So thank you for your call, Frederick. You're on the air.
I just wanted to get clarification. Are you for this White Fortress you're trying to build?
I'm not trying to build it. I don't even know. Am I for the White Fortress? Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like White Fortress. I don't know exactly what you mean or what you understand from that.
Where everybody could get the N-word pass, like you described, the White Fortress of people standing up and just like, I guess, I don't know if they're gonna isolate the Idaho, the New Russia. Is that the White Fortress?
I really don't know, and I can't say I even agree with that. I'm not sure, Frederick. That sounds like it might be a different country. I can't say I even agree with that. When you're saying White Fortress, what I took that as and what I was saying yes to, I guess to be specific, is, you know how people separate naturally anyways?
No.
Have you noticed that? If you look at a lot of neighborhoods, even though there's no laws that separate people, there are the black area, there's this and that area.
That's a price range. It ain't by choice.
Oh. We could talk about that. Maybe there's something.
What they could afford.
We could talk about that. Maybe there's something I don't understand about that. But it seems to me, this is what if I could say how I thought about it, and that I could be mistaken on. The way it seems to me like people, despite what people say about racism or anything, it seems to me like people still use their freedom to live amongst and be in the places they want to be in, and that's nothing, and that's not racist. That's not wrong. And we shouldn't just assume malice from that. We shouldn't just assume malice. If I can be clear on that.
Right.
But hey, what are you saying? We're kind of.
I was just listening. I was just listening.
Yeah. What do you? Okay.
Maybe you're right, but all the busing and everything, and people assimilating it was so they wouldn't have to stay in the same area or whatnot because the opportunities was indifferent because of the areas was indifferent during the. Structure of class of people. But okay, I just want to know what you
stuff to smoke on.
That white fortress is going to be
definitely stuff to smoke up, Frederick. Definitely call me back on that. There's some stuff you said I don't even know about that I may be educated on, sir.
Yeah, not a problem.
But yeah, what do you think? N-word passes for the nation or no? Is that crazy?
I don't know. Y'all gonna have to be ducked off somewhere.
All right, okay. Maybe that's radical.
Order.
Maybe we can.
We're gonna be loitering outside that white fortress, no matter where it's at. So it's gonna. Y'all can't hide. That's all I'm saying. God's plan. He don't want nothing like that.
Okay, maybe the N-word passes for all is too radical for you, but can you at least understand the spirit behind that executive order? It's not really that I want. Can you understand the spirit behind it? Free speech so that we all stop tripping over words and we could be united for at least another 100 years?
United. You think that's going to unite?
United, asterisk, the way, as united as a nation can be, which is what? People are united by creed and color and creed, you know what I mean? And these are all shallow things if you ask me, but they unite nations and they keep them together for hundreds of years.
Anything's possible. You might be right.
So you at least understand the spirit behind giving everyone an N-word pass?
No.
No. All right, Frederick.
No, I don't see any hope in it. I see us probably relinquishing it one day and making everybody have a little bit of black where it's not no more whites to even want to say it. Like, man, yeah. Or it might be like 5 or a group of whites left in a museum or a zoo that just say the N-word constantly. Like, these are the last of the whites, and they just stuck saying the N-word. Y'all, we hate y'all. Like, look at their anger. Y'all be an exhibit or something. You never know.
What are you even saying? That's like so made up. I don't even know what you're saying. You're just making stuff up.
That's gonna be in the movie.
This is my. You're making stuff up in my simulation. I'm the one who simulated this world where the N-word passes are being given out. I don't know where you get off. I don't know where you get off being able to. This is my simulation, okay? And in this simulation, you made it up where the whites are diminishing and but at least they can say the N-word.
2045.
What if they get to say the N-word and they make babies? You're just making stuff up. You're just making stuff up.
Already predicts the skin color of the future. So I mean, there's nowhere around where y'all gonna hide. So the only opportunity. Yeah, I don't know. Global warming is real. Everybody's gonna gain melanin, and nobody's gonna say it no more.
Damn.
Who knows what the future?
So everyone's gonna be black. You're right. Everyone's gonna. So then my prediction remains true. Society continues to shift ever blackward, and you know what that means? It means thin-skinned, hateful, angry. It means words control you.
I guess.
And you might be, man. You might be right. I think you're right on this, man. That's crazy.
Who knows? All right, you have a good day. I called in everybody today like I said I would.
Thank you, Frederick.
I was late. I was like, I was going to call in every show today. I might call in every show all week from now on.
From now and forever. Cool. Frederick, man, that's always been, yeah. Hey, man, thank you for calling me. Call me again on some of those other things.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
All right, folks, that's the show. How is that a win, by the way? Like, we're always going to be outside. I don't know. He didn't say we, but he said some group is always going to be on the outskirts of the White Fortress. Doing what? Being jealous? How's that a win? They're always going to be on the... So what are you saying here? You got to let him... Like, there's things to talk about here. I'm inaccurate in some things. You're welcome to call me tomorrow, and we can hash it out. But tomorrow, it'll be at 4 p.m. So don't miss it, because we're taking a flight. Nick Stream Fridays, Anchor Baby Airlines, and all that. So there's definitely things to talk about on all that. On what Frederick's talking about there. But you know what I mean? Like, that can't be a win. That can't be, oh, we're on the outskirts, always jealous. That cannot be a win. That can't be a way of living. Folks, that's the show. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for Nick Stream Airlines, Anchor Baby Airlines. You don't want to miss those. So hit the like and subscribe and all that so you don't miss it. 4 p.m. Pacific time. Open Line Friday with the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Hake Report, Fallen State, and all that. Take care, folks. I'm out. See you tomorrow. Little Nick's got to say bye too. Bye.